So I know that the Supreme Court denied cert from Boise's appeal. Are there any circuit splits? Are we anticipating that the Supreme Court might take this issue up?
I don't think that the other circuits have had a case go up where they've reviewed it, and I'm not 100% sure. I know that if you read the dissent in the most recent Ninth Circuit case, I would encourage you to read it. It is definitely that it basically says that it should be heard en banc, and that if not, then appealed. And so I don't think that there's any circuit splits right now that I'm aware of. I know that other states are going completely opposite, completely different directions.
Right.
And
I would imagine the 5th and the 10th
right,
quite different.
Yeah, I had heard that Tennessee had proposed making it a felony to camp in public space.
Yeah. Thank you for that. I guess my next question is, for these elements that the Ninth Circuit kind of carved out as exceptions, other than the second case that you mentioned, has there been any ordinances testing the ability to
right
work within the frames without violating the 8th Amendment?
So there have been, I guess, not directly on the nose, I guess is what I would say. The approaches are definitely locally crafted, and so what I haven't seen is like a model ordinance come out, which sometimes there are. Like, for example, when the Supreme Court decided the Reed v. Town of Gilbert and required basically every sign code in the country to be amended, there was, it was a local process, but at the same time there was kind of a model ordinance. I haven't seen that. This has definitely been each community sort of looking at their situation and what works best for them and crafting an ordinance to go along with that. And you'll see from even looking like Lakewood and Longwood View, which aren't even that far apart, right? It's pretty different.
That's it for now.
All right, Denise and Jennifer. Quinn.
Yeah, this is an extremely difficult and uncomfortable topic, right? We've talked about marginalized and vulnerable populations at council before, and this is the most marginalized, vulnerable population in our society, right? I think we were elected and appointed to do hard things and make difficult decisions, and what is happening currently and has happened currently with the homelessness crisis, especially with cities just kind of taking a laissez-faire attitude to it, hasn't worked. We have, I've worked in downtown Seattle since 2015, and I've seen what has happened there when city council and the administration has just kind of taken a hands-off approach. Businesses move out, services move out. There's a negative outcome for those who are not marginalized and experiencing houselessness, and then there's also a negative, ultimate negative consequence for them as well. And so, as we are thinking about, where is this 10,000 for the bathroom that we have allocated? Maybe it should be council taking the reins, making the hard decisions, and determining, okay, as a city, with the resources that we have, with the population that we have, where does it make sense and which rules make the most sense to us? Because we have heard a lot of public outcry, but we've also heard public outcry from folks that are really negatively impacted by just kind of the haphazardness of where encampments have shown up. So I don't think anybody on this council lacks the empathy or the humane decency that I've seen come out of a lot of different areas in the country, including the South, where they ultimately just criminalize and hide folks for being poor. That's not what we want to do. And I think trusting a very robust process with community input, and it might take a lot of open community inputs. It might take a lot of study sessions to at least try something, but what is happening right now and us just kind of revisiting it's not working. So I appreciate legal letting us know that time and place restrictions are at least an option and tools that we have in our tool belt to help craft somewhat of a solution, with the goals of helping community and the community that is houseless. I don't think they have to be at odds. I think we can actually come up with some really good solutions.
Any other?
I agree with your enthusiasm. Director Riley, what is our reserve balance right now, if you know?
7%. We're at plus 7%.
Okay.
And so, yeah,
So yeah, I agree. If we are going to do this, like we can't just be like, nope, we don't want to see folks, right? Like we need to create some sort of funding or some other solutions along with it. And I think we're able to do that.
Sure, and one of the things that, and this is just kind of, if you look on page 181, Bremerton is actually already featured in this, and so this is the type of thing that would be in our whereases. Not to say that we can't add more, but just saying that this would be something that, what the city did here with the partnerships to create Pendleton Place, particularly for our chronically homeless that have addiction and mental health issues, would be the type of thing that we could list out in our whereases that has already been implemented. The same thing with the council's allocations in the budget. We have, well, a lot of different partnerships. There's the respite center. There's, you know, there's a place to put those things as well as anything that any new partnerships and things that get listed. So I don't have all those written out yet, but we could certainly include it, is what I'm saying. And that this is the type of thing, if you want to look at like how this could be worked into the whereases, like stuff that we've already done.
You done, Quinn? Just want to make sure.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
sorry.